See where I'm at. Hello, it is Bill, the Knee Pain Guru. Welcome to Knee Club. Today is Thursday, November 21st. This is our first different schedule. I know there was a number of members that I was getting messages over the Facebook group. They're like, hey, are we having a call today? Yes, we changed the time. Emails should have gone out. You would have gotten notification for it. If you're watching the replay of this, there is a different registration link for the Monday call and the Thursday call. So you need to register for both. That's just how it how it works in the system, so I can have 2 days in the same week with different times. It's just how we got to roll with this. So I am going to go over to the member or the Facebook group to see if there was any questions that were posed, which, regardless of what time it was, you could have put your questions in there. And I'm not seeing anyone. Let's see, Sharon, that's from the other day. I replied to that. I posted in there the links, and by now everybody would have gotten 2 notification emails last weekend about the calls for this week, as well as emails before each of the calls. So you would have received it about an hour before, which gave you the link to register for the call. And if you can make it, that's great. If you can't, that's okay too. So there are no questions that were posted in the Knee Club Facebook group. And we have Antoinette here. Antoinette?
Hi.
Hi there. How are you?
It's damp here, and so I guess I'm cold to the bone.
Got it. Are you drinking tea?
No, but I certainly am drinking a lot more water these days.
So I remember seeing something go by that you were having some issues this morning. Is that do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, as I continue to do the exercises, I guess things are unfreezing, or I'm becoming more aware of stuff that I had already known before but forgotten about my knees, because they act up in different ways. It's just like you described, you know, it comes, it goes, and it does different things. So yeah, I'm reminded that I have all kinds of pain today around the patella. And in fact, I had lunch with a friend today, and we went to the grocery store after together, and boy, I had the hardest time getting around and having a little bit of a mental sort of, well, how am I going to start this new job Monday as a communications director like this, you know? But anyway, it's one day at a time, so that's too far off. Monday's too far off, and today's only today, and it could be different tomorrow. So
that is a really good point, because I wanted to interject at this thing, and this is where the mind can go, can really like take control, or it's kind of like the emotions. I refer to it as our lizard brain. We have the sympathetic, or the fight or flight state part of our brain. Parasympathetic is the rested and relaxed part. It's real easy for like the lizard brain or the reptilian brain to kind of take over the controls. Also kind of known as the inner 2-year-old. That could just be like, oh my gosh, I'm in pain again. It's going to be like this forever. I got to stop creating comfort.
Yeah, okay? It's an invitation to panic this morning, that's for sure.
Right. And this is where we got to take the steering wheel back from the 2-year-old And we got to go, okay, got it. This is a process. It's a journey, not a destination. This is not a quick fix. Although it can go quickly, there's layers that are
Yeah.
going on. If we're dealing with a bone-on-bone situation, arthritis for an extended period of time, if I'm a perfect candidate for a knee replacement surgery, well, this stuff just didn't start yesterday.
Yeah, and you give plenty of warning about that, and that's good. That's a good thing that you do.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it too many times. I've lost people.
Yeah.
I've lost people in the past because it was like, oh, comfort is great. It's wonderful. It's the best thing since sliced bread, until we uncover the next layer of tension. And now the pain that we've been compensating for, we could feel it. And then
Yeah.
it's like, no, comfort isn't so great. I want to go back to that lockdown place where I couldn't feel stuff.
Exactly. It's really the feeling is really like I've unlocked the door because everything is feeling more comfortable and I signed up for this.
Well,
So now the stuff is uprooting and coming up to the surface. So there it is.
yeah, and just know this is where it's like we're playing poker and we got a really, really bad hand, but we still want to win. Here's the deal. We got a bad hand. We still want to win. So what do? We double down. We double down on comfort. And what ends up happening is the nervous system, even though it's kind of like the inner 2-year-old is like going, no, let's turn the car around. I want to go back to the where I was because it didn't hurt as much. It was bad, but it didn't hurt this bad. It wants to turn around, but if we double down on comfort, what happens is we hit the gas and we keep finding comfort through this process, and we get through these difficult places faster. That's the cool part, because now we're teaching the nervous system. It's on like hyperdrive because it's letting go of tension at 286 miles per hour.
It certainly feels very quickly oozing out. Yes. Yes.
So by doubling down on comfort, we're in alignment with the neurology. We're in alignment with the nervous system. And we move through that place faster.
Gotcha.
And in the same time, we want to do everything we can in our life,
Yes.
in our world that is going. I want to create that support. I want to create that comfort for Antoinette in the process, which means I want to make sure I'm drinking plenty of water. I don't want to miss that. I don't want to make sure I'm doing the magnesium. I don't know.
I ordered everything today. Yeah, and it's all products that I've taken in the past. I'd say at least half of the products you have on there is stuff that I'm used to already, things that I've taken in the past. So that was encouraging.
And here's the thing. It's like a combination to a safe. You got to get the right numbers in the right amount, in the right order. You know, we got 2 turns to the right, 17, 3 turns to the left, 21, 4 turns to the left, 36, and then the door opens. And this is what it is with pain. And it makes us move differently, creates this physical thing. It's like, oh, I wouldn't want to step that way because it's going to hurt. It makes us think differently. Literally, neuroplasticity. It changes our brain, and it makes us feel differently because pain is a feeling.
I know I'm experiencing some twangs and some crunching behind the patella. So clearly something's moving about and stuff's happening, and
right
there it is.
All we do, it's like if we could take the steering wheel back from the inner 2-year-old and we hit the gas and double down on comfort, and what ends up happening is it moves us through this process faster.
One thing though, I scared myself because this is something I know in my personality is I like to get ahead of the program. I do that, and that never yields good things. And I went and looked at a patella video of yours, and I did some of those exercises, and I feel as though that was too much for me. The other thing I'm also learning is that I feel great when I do the exercises, and then later I'm aching. Later I'm feeling these things. So
Yes, let me post. We got some people that I see messaging. Here's the link if you haven't signed up for the call yet. The call now in progress.
so now I've had to recognize really that this is out of my, I'm very good at what I do, but this is not what I do. So
Right.
I'm going to stick with whatever you give, and I'm not going to go beyond anything else. Going to go hurt myself.
And that is actually a good thing, because it's like a little bit of a controlled chaos, because we're like churning up the waters in the neurology that lets the
Yeah,
body move.
I have a very sore left lower back today.
Okay, left lower back.
Yeah.
Is the module 22 the pain pattern interrupt section for the lower back, the psoas? Does that relieve it?
Yeah, that particular thing blows my mind. Number 22 blows my mind.
Great.
I get on the roller. I'm all kinds of resistance in my body about it. My belly hurts when I get on the roller, and then it goes from that to within a minute to 2 minutes to total relaxation, and I feel like my legs are like wet spaghetti.
Nice. That's good. And that's the idea. When your body is, what is happening is your body is kind of bearing down on protecting itself. It feels threatened, whatever. You got stuff going on, whatever it is. We don't need to go into the history or know why. All we need to do is, this is the physical pain that you're experiencing, and when the body goes into a fight or flight state, if we fight, flight, or freeze, actually, and if we go into a freeze position, we immediately go into a fetal position. Well, the psoas is getting tight. That muscle in the lower back is pulling forward and down on the lower back and bringing the knees up, elbows down. We want to protect ourselves.
Oh yeah.
We're protecting that. That's just the normal position we get in when we feel threatened.
And when you describe that with those movements, it connects, for me, it connects with so much emotion. There's a stack of old stuff in there that's getting cleaned out.
Yeah. And here's the cool part. Unlike conventional therapies where we got to talk about it and drag it all up, we don't.
No.
When we directly go through the neurology, when we position the body physically comfortable, what ends up happening is we bypass all that circuitry. We don't need to go into the mind and the emotion, because that part of you is not rational. It's not. How we feel is how we feel. And that is period, bottom line, end of story. We don't need to get into the story of what happened. All we need to do is continue to create physical comfort, and the neurology will continue to move all of that out faster.
Exactly. I'm all over it. I absolutely believe that.
Cool. And that's why I started doing the on-ramps, which are like the 2-week things, because I was losing so many people in this period. Like this window when they first start, it's like Antoinette, you're 16 years old. Here are the keys to the Corvette. And you just got your learner's permit. And now you're like, vroom, and you hit the gas, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden you just wrap the car around a tree because we don't know how powerful the neurology is. We
It
just
really
don't.
is. It really is. The psoas is it's a thing of wonder for me that I God only knows what's bound up and tightened up in there from from years yonder
Yeah, yeah,
from stresses and stuff piled together in there,
yeah.
um, creating an unhappy physical life.
Yeah. So what we do, comfort, switch again, comfort. And here's the thing, it'll change. The pain in the knee will be in the kneecap. And then it'll move to the back of the knee. Then it'll move
I
the
think
inside.
it will. Yeah.
And it just kind of bounces around. And it's not like we're chasing it. We're
No.
moving out. These are layers that we're going through.
Right.
So on the other side of this is a level of freedom and
Yeah.
and experience in your body that you're going to go, no way. I didn't realize it could be this way again. I thought that our days gone by or years gone by, that's only because I was younger.
Mhm.
And this tension and stress builds up over time in the nervous system as a result of accidents, injuries, surgeries, traumas, whatever.
Whatever.
And
Yeah.
it we call it old age. That's just what happens when you get
Yeah,
older.
but that's not correct. Yeah. Yeah. It's just drudge that's in, I call it the garage. What you don't know what to do with, or your body doesn't know what to do with, that it goes into the garage. And after 20 years of that, you know, there's a lot of
So
junk in the garage.
a lot of time, a lot of stuff in the garage. Yeah, it'll take a minute to clean it out. Once it's out,
Yeah.
then on the other side of this, in the process, we're moving stuff out of the garage, but we're also upgrading the system. It's like the software, the neurology is getting upgraded in the process
Right.
because we're lining ourselves up with the neurology's ability to let go of tension at the 286 miles per hour, the
Right.
speed at which our neurology fires. Now, what ends up happening on the other side of this, something happens, like stuff happens to me all the time. I do things and I dork my shoulder up my neck, whatever it is. And what I go to the water, I go to the magnesium, I go to the arnica, I do the pain pattern interrupts. I take it easy for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Next morning I wake up and it's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Instead of it being this week and a half episode that's going to put me down because my body doesn't know how to let go of it.
Hmm. Now, my mind had a fleeting thought, like maybe I should only be doing these exercises once a day. And now while you're talking, I'm thinking, yeah, nice try.
Well, here's the thing. We can't create too much comfort. We just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Now, when we first start doing something and the body's not used to it, it can be a little overwhelming
Yeah. At times.
because we're going kind of through a healing crisis. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of like it feels good while you're doing it, but
Yeah. Then during
just
the
something
night,
else.
it's so incredible. Then during the night, my theory is it all happens during the night because I have a very strong mind. And during the night, my mind shuts off. So then the body can go ahead and do everything without me watching.
So I just want you to know you're doing great.
Thank
Like
you.
I would hope you didn't even find me a week ago at this point.
I know. I know.
It was Saturday. Like I got the
I know.
document Saturday. We had our first call Monday. Um, you made it on the knee club
Hey.
call later that day, and
Yeah.
today's the knee club call on Thursday. So like you're moving through things extremely quickly.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
your,
like me too, though.
yeah, the amount of time that you're putting in to create comfort just moves it, it just speeds it up.
To be
And
fair, this week off here is absolutely ideal for, I mean, the conjuncture with this knee stuff. It's just perfect. I really feel like I'm taking care of myself this week.
nice,
And
nice.
I'm trying to put that habit in there before I get right brained back into work Monday. You know what I mean?
Yes. So,
Good.
well, I, as far as you're doing everything correct. It
Okay.
doesn't feel like it sometimes because of the discomfort. However, it'll just continue to move through faster. And it's one of those things because it's letting go so quickly. You could wake up tonight and it's like, whoa, no pain. Or you could wake up tomorrow morning, no pain. Or I, we just don't know.
We don't
That
know.
at this point, we don't know how much is in the garage or how long that's going to take. And it
Yeah.
just like these are the very delicate, crucial moments of like you don't want to let the 2-year-old take over.
No. That's right. That's right.
That's the only thing, and that's where I have, and I said this just a little bit ago, I've lost a lot of people in the
Yeah.
program.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah. Because it takes a fair amount of courage to go into the unknown, generally speaking. So imagine when it involves pain, and pain that you don't know where it's going to come from next at that. Yeah.
Right. So I admire your courage. That's really big stuff. To be able to hang in that place and allow it to move
Mm-hmm.
and aligning yourself with the technology that we all come hardwired with.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all because I heard you and I'm like, this guy thinks like me
Mm,
about how things are. And
mhm.
I've looked at the brochures with the knee replacements. Like I've looked at what it looks like and what they do to your bones and stuff, and there's no part of me, no part of me that lines up with me, like not even a sliver.
Yeah. I, as long as if a person is looking at a knee replacement surgery, as long as they're not consciously thinking about it, they can deal with it. But
Mhm.
they're essentially sawing off the bones in your leg and replacing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on.
Who does that line up with?
I don't know. Why are they lining up for it? I don't know.
Who in their rational mind would go, huh? Well, my body can heal itself, or I can get my bones in my leg sawed off with plastic and metal, and maybe the pain will go away.
Yeah,
So
and maybe my body will accept that.
yeah, I had a chiropractor as a client once. This was a
Okay.
horrible story. Chiropractor as a client, and he was working with the program. He was getting results. However, he was going through an on ramp period with it, and one of his patients just had a double knee replacement and was giving the chiropractor a hard time. Oh, you might as well just line up and get a knee replacement. And then he got a call like a day or so later that the client couldn't make the next appointment because he was emergency. He was rushed to the hospital because he was having pain in his knees.
Yeah.
And what they found out was he had contracted MRSA while he was in the hospital in the bone. So they had to remove the knee replacements,
Yeah.
which meant he had to lay in a hospital bed for 5 months without knees
Oh,
in order for them to
pardon
heal
me.
the.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's intense. It's intense.
And anybody, we know, I think when you're old enough, you know that when you walk into a hospital, you're taking all kinds of risks.
Yeah, there is that.
I'm not beating the whole thing down. I mean, it's really good for certain things, but
Yeah. Yeah, in the right situation.
Yeah, we're not, yeah. I want to tell you something you might think is cool.
Mhm.
Um, 2 days before you came up in my Facebook feed, and I didn't know anything about you, I had a dream. And the dream was simply very simple. I was walking along, being happy and just walking simply along. And I looked down and then I realized that my leg is back to normal.
Oh,
That's all in the dream. I'm
that's
like,
cool.
okay, then I hope this is prophetic.
Nice.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
take it as such.
I think there's a lot of information that's passed along in dreams that we don't give them credit for, like the
Yeah.
dreams.
Yes, and yeah, it's you talk about the parasympathetic system, and you know more about the body systems than I do. But for sure, I think we know very little, and there's a lot of magic and wonder that goes on. When you line up, when all of you lines up with stuff, it's pretty amazing what you can create in your life, and that I do believe very, very, with all my heart and my mind. Now
Cool.
I need my body too, though, so we're just lining that part up too.
Great. So, okay. Well, Reza just joined us, another one of the members. You're in Canada and Reza's in California. Welcome, Reza. Reza? What is the difference? What is the difference? I okay, the difference with modules 9, 10, and 11 are different planes of motion. In the 9, let me look at the pain pattern interrupts. So 9 were, let's see. Let's see, I believe module 9 is side to side hip tension. There's tension in the hips leaning to the right and to the left. So that's a certain plane of motion. Module as well as forward and back hip tension. Module 10 is going to be in circles, and then module 11 is going to be the tilting of the pelvis. And module 12 is going to be like the combination of those three, 9, 10, and 11. So what we're doing is combining those three to find the position of comfort with the combination of those three. Yeah, and that's the big piece is we're we're hitting different neurological patterns that are going on in the pelvis with each plane of motion, and we release those. And the interesting part about that is when the knees are in pain, the tension immediately goes to the hips and lower back to protect the knees. So the tension in the hips and lower back immediately increases to protect the knees. So people with knee pain who are struggling with range of motion, challenges with range of motion, if they don't address the tension patterns that are going on in the hips and lower back, they'll never get full range of motion out of the knee. That's the interesting piece. We absolutely have to look at the knee. We also have to look at the hips and lower back in order to get that movement, which, Antoinette, this is tying in with you, the limited extension in there. And that's why you're working with 22 and 23 in the mornings and in the evenings, because as we're addressing what's going on in the knee, we're also addressing what's going on in the hips and lower back, which moves you through that place faster than if we were just looking at,
Sciatica?
pardon?
Will it help with sciatica as well?
It'll start uncovering layers with sciatica. There is other
I have
stuff,
that too.
right? And we'll get to that. And it all ties together. It's like the knee is just the weakest link in the chain, right? The chain's only as strong as the weakest link. So what's going on in the knee, the knee is the chain that's ready to go. But there's also tension going on from the toes all the way up to the head. But we don't pay attention to that as much because the knee hurts. So if we quiet down the knee, now we can begin to feel what's going on underneath, which is the experience you're going through. But I wanted to deal with the knee. Why is all this other stuff chiming in? Because it's always been going on. You just couldn't hear it or feel it because the knee was screaming so loud.
Yeah.
Reza writes, while I was cooking for dinner guests, I used Pain Pattern Interrupt 12. Reza's like my rock star student. Reza, he takes it and he one of my favorite stories with Reza was how one of the things was, it's called the stutter step, and it's working with the patterns in the hips while you're walking. You could reset the patterns while you're walking. And there's another one that is walking on the standing on the insides and the outsides of the feet. And Reza was hiking, and there was a slant in the terrain. So he used the slant in the terrain to walk comfortably to reset the pattern of what was causing him issues in his knee. And I was like, man, that's good.
Exercises with pleasure, mixing the two.
Yeah, I had a Linda, who's one of our members out of Hawaii. I taught her the stutter step, and she's just like, every time she has the pain, she does her little stutter step thing. It resets the pattern, and she continues walking. So it's cool when you understand the reflexes, because the reflexes, they're firing just as fast as a doctor taps your knee with a hammer. Pain can be gone, and then you're like, why did I suffer for years? You think it's like this really silly realization, but there's this place. Well, I know it now, and life is good moving forward.
Yeah.
So this is warm water with sea salt.
Yeah.
And it tastes really good. It tastes like a broth.
Yeah. I had frozen a lot of bone broth soups in the freezer, so now every day I'm unfreezing one for lunch.
Cool.
And I bought the book on water, so I'll start reading that.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap it. Reza asked his questions. We covered what you had going on, and let's see. For everybody else that is watching the replay, you can still put your questions in the Facebook group. We're just meeting in this webinar format. Moving forward, we're going to do it on Mondays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. We changed the time on Thursdays. There are 2 different webinar links. You would have already received emails for both of those, so you can look back at the emails that we sent today. And what's the other thing I want to say? There are 2 different webinar links, one for Monday, one for Thursday. You already have those. I've posted them in the Knee Club members area, the Facebook group, and you can post your questions in the Facebook group. I'm recording these videos, and then I upload them to the Facebook group. So if there's any questions of that I'm answering in there, I'll tag the date of it in the reply so you know which video to watch if you're away for a week or so.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Antoinette. Thank you, Reza. I appreciate you all very much. I will see, let's see, Thursday. Our next call is going to be Monday, the 25th. We're going to do 1:30 p.m. Okie dokie. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.